Babysitter, pick up my gown, stop and get John's tux. Oh, I'm calling myself. But I wouldn't have time for the surgery. I don't know why I was.
Hi, TikTok. So I watched Waiting to Exhale as a 31-year-old woman after not watching this movie and who knows how long. So it's like, I feel like it's my first time watching it as an adult. And I could write a dissertation on all of the notes that I've taken. So this was literally in my iPhone notes, and I sent myself an email because I'm recording on my iPhone. So let's get into it. First of all, I don't know, 10 out of 10, don't recommend watching the movie for like context on how to live your actual life. What I'm trying to say is don't follow the movie, do opposite of the movie. Okay, so the first 3 points that I have is the importance of close friends as emotional support and just a support system in general. I think that Bernadine's friends were grand. They had a sisterhood, and I think that's something that's lacking now. Like the importance of community. Like we need one another, right? So another big theme. Okay, let me go all the way to the bottom. Hold on. So for me, like there was an underlying theme that like black women can't be happily married to black men and white women are the preference. So a lot of them are just messing with like married men, very desperate for love and relationship, and a lot of them, I mean they all pretty much lowered their standards to be with the man because the man was the center. Yeah. So a main theme is decentering men, um, prioritizing a man over our own happiness, putting a man first, living in a world that values a relationship and not singleness, feeling worthless without a man, being desperate for a man, leads to lowered standards and settling for what we don't want, locking up the cookies. Because, baby, the constant first night hunching or really like just hunching without having a standard and the man's not meeting the standard and still giving up that cookie, lock that thing up in the cookie jar. Not settling on false promises. Who did that a lot? Robin. Yeah. Not putting your dreams on hold for a man. Poor Bernadine, because she wanted to do a catering company and that didn't happen, and she gave that man 11 years. Listening to your gut. Don't fear being alone. Don't be too lazy to look after yourself, and don't put full responsibility on the husband. That was a line from Bernadine. Yeah, and she said pretty much just don't get married. You just married the wrong man, boo. So Gloria was the plus size lady in the film, and to be honest, I don't like how they put the unattractive big black woman thing on her because bigger women are beautiful, thick woman, busty woman, whatever you want to call them, gorgeous, and they do not have trouble with finding men in today's times, especially if they're confident, just like the rest of us, right? Just be for real. And so Gloria was on a 10-year drought. Okay, and I didn't like how Bernadine told her, like, I'm not like you. Incinerating that, like, Gloria doesn't yearn for intimacy because it was funny because Gloria wanted it. She was trying to get it from her bisexual baby daddy. And he had to be like, honey, I turned you down last time because I'm really into men. Like, I'm really gay. And she was like, ah, if you just don't like big girls, tell me that. And he's like, boo, I ain't got a lot to kick it. Like, this really been what it was. You know what I'm saying? Thought that was interesting. So Bernadine, no, not Bernadine, Gloria reminded me of a lot of black women in our community in today's time that raise pussy boys because they be afraid to let the boy go away from the nest. But towards the end of the movie, Gloria had got some sense through her new boo who was the neighbor. And I put like there is such an importance of having a black man in the home because this black man poured wisdom into Gloria and Gloria at first objected it, but he was like, yo, like let this boy go off to college. He's a man, like he has a mind of his own. And she was like, no, like that's my baby. And towards the end of the movie, she was like, you know what? Like he's been my man, just not my son. How many black mothers do you know that are like that? That's not good, sweets. That's why we got a lot of men now who can't provide. They just be munching off women. We call them homosexuals. It's because of y'all. Stop it. It's the aunties and grandmamas and the mamas. Stop. Get a life, okay? Uh, So again, there was an underlying theme of black men leaving black women for the white woman, and insinuating white women are better. But I hope none of y'all believe that, because girl. Um, and I also wrote that these women were much more deserving of more than just dick. Okay, it's getting long, so this is my part one, and I'm gonna finish with part two. Part two of my synopsis of waiting to exhale as an adult. 31 to be exact. So, moving on, let's get into. So, another underlying theme was men choose who they want to love, marry, and show up for. We cannot force that. So, throughout the movie, each of the women, as I said, were messing with married men outside of Gloria, but like Russell, Keith, like they were married men. So they picked somebody. And even the guy that Bernadine met at the bar, you know, the civil rights lawyer, he was married to a white woman. Yeah. And he loved that woman. He told her, like, I love that woman. Like, I've never loved another woman. But we'll get more into that later. Oh, okay. So here we go. So Bernadine and the lawyer. So they were two people deprived of emotional connection, and they were going through it. Definitely trauma bonding. And so I wrote that you attract who you are and what you're going through. They both were vibrating on the same plane. So the letter that he wrote to her sometime after, basically saying like, girl, I can't stop thinking about you, but at the same time, let me tell you about how much I love my wife. And nobody would ever come before my wife. So I was like, the letter is basically insinuating that she's second best, will never be number one. And I put, we'll always be second best and receive the short end of the stick. A confidant, you're good, but not good enough. Now that's not what I believe, but that was the message the movie was trying to give. Gag. So for Robin, I put Russell Girlby. He's a married man. And Robin in general, beautiful, beautiful girl, but it was just like you're doing it all backwards, okay? Um, and then I put like, okay, Savannah's mother giving her bad advice on being with a married man. How many of your black grannies have done that, or black mothers? I think things are definitely turning around for the better in terms of that, because this was back when like women prioritized men and being in a relationship, and if you didn't have a man, you wasn't shit. So come to find out, the mom was just like, I don't want you ending up like me alone. She should have found Jesus, because with Jesus you're not alone, boo. So I put Savannah's mother giving her bad advice on being with a married man, very much bad leadership, and it was trickling down because the apple don't fall far from the tree. uh then it took me this long to realize he's a good man, Savannah, came from this movie. And clearly, a lot of you have not watched this movie, because the mother was saying that Kenneth or Keith, whatever his name is, was a good man. That man was married. So you was trying to force your daughter to be in a relationship with a married man. And then she was like, he called my phone crying. Girl, men don't cry. Yes, they do. They be crying when they know they wrong. And they be trying to get you to feel bad just to go right back and do the same thing. Yeah, very much bad advice, mother. And at this point, I don't even want to ever comment again. He's a good man, Savannah. Because that's like, that's a paradox, right? Like, that's a joke. That is sarcasm. So I will only comment that now on videos where the man isn't good, where the man is trash. Yeah, he's a good man, Savannah. Because if we're using the quote as it was intended to be used, it is satire. It's not genuine. It's very ingenuine. Okay. And then at the end, I put 1 year later, all their situations turned around. Bernadine won a very nice settlement. She got that house in Mexico. She got the house in Arizona. And then she also got the Mercedes wagon and $1.5 million settlement. That's right, girl, because your husband trash. Gloria found love. So happy for her. I love how she was putting herself out there. She found her man after a 10-year drought. I know that's right. Robin found self-worth, standards, and boundaries. You know, she finally told Russell to get on. Baby, we ain't doing that no more. Who did I leave out? Bernadine, Gloria, Robin. Oh my God, I'm missing somebody. Oh, Savannah. What happened to Savannah? And then yeah, Savannah got boundaries too with Mr. Cheating Keith or whatever Kenneth. Like she stood on business about him. It was like basically, I know you're never gonna leave your wife. You know, I'm so happy to hear that. So yeah, they all learned from their lessons, and they realized to put themselves first, and most importantly, like don't forget your girlfriends. You know what I'm saying? Like put yourself first, stand on business, have standards and boundaries. And having a man is not the end of the earth. Especially do not lower your standards for these dust balls. Okay, that's it. Bye.